Good morning, friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today I want to give you an update on how Creekside fared with Hurricane Helene that came through here Thursday night into Friday lunchtime-ish. So it is Saturday morning. We are, of course, in Dallas, North Carolina, Zone 8A. We are just west of Charlotte, not too far from the South Carolina border. And so today I just want to give you an update on how the storm affected us here at the house and at the nursery. Unless I guess you've been maybe living under a rock, Hurricane Helene came through and just absolutely devastated the whole southeast. I mean, we have had extremely limited cell and internet service, so I'm not even seeing probably near the reports of and understand the damage. I'm just seeing some things on Facebook once I can get on about here things in North Carolina. I can only imagine that Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, I know upstate South Carolina, Tennessee, I don't know, and beyond have just been absolutely like catastrophic damage. And in no way, shape, fashion, or form am I putting us in that category. We fared extremely well, right? We have some trees down, we have some gardens that have been destroyed, but just please understand that this video is not a woe is us, woe is me kind of video. This is just me informing our faithful followers what has happened here at Creekside. I know that there's got to be tons of organizations that are reaching out to, like, our mountain community has been absolutely obliterated. I've seen pictures of Asheville, North Carolina, Chimney Rock, Lake Lure, Boone, all of those areas, massive flooding, mudslides, just insane amounts of damage. So I'm sure that Samaritan's Purse is they're taking donations. Of course, the American Red Cross. So if you know of an organization, please donate to them, because there's going to be thousands upon thousands of people that need help. So again, I am just simply sharing with you what happened to us here at the nursery. A couple of things. Power, we don't have power. We've lived in this house it'll be 21 years in January, and we've only lost power a handful of times. And when we do lose power, it's literally like for 5 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. So we're going on 24, 36 hours. Past 24, we're somewhere in that mark of no power. We do have a generator, so we have the refrigerator is working, so we got the refrigerator going, tons of candles, and we have a gas stove, and then we have a grill. So we're able to cook, and we're able to keep things cold. So yay us. We are on a well, so no water. No water for us, and no water for the plants. Not good. So that's just kind of an update on that. We are standing up here at the chicken coop, and this is one that just, she kind of hurt my heart, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. So it's actually our neighbor's tree. It's a pine tree, starts all the way back here in the woods. So the property line is literally like right there. So it's technically their tree, but of course it fell on our property, took out my birdhouse. So I think she's a goner. We might be able to salvage maybe something of her. So birdhouse got knocked off the pole, but a big, huge tree came through and basically took out this entire garden. There are some things, you know, that remained unscathed. The Forever Goldie is okay. The Vitex, the hibiscus, she's okay, even though she got whacked some. It's fine. It's a perennial, would be no problem. I don't know if you can adequately see this stick right here, this stick that's going up right there. That's my cherry tree. Yep, Kwanzaa is gone. So the cherry tree is no more. So she'll be gone. Then there's perennials in here that are just smushed. My touch of gold holly. So there's all sorts of things in here. Of course, my cloaks that I had bought from Gardener's Supply, they too were in here because, you know, we have bunnies, and the bunnies like my rudbeckia. So like this one is fine, but there's a good number of cloaks in there that are underneath the pine tree. Also, while she is still standing, I think we're probably just gonna have to take it out. This is the Bosque elm, because the elm is missing, like it's It might be okay. I don't know, we'll have to really assess it once the tree comes out, but it's been stripped of quite a few limbs and we've got exposed bark. So we'll just have to see, you know, how that all works out. You know, it's crazy how the trees fall. Here we have the unique stone. This is the Ashley River Angel and completely unscathed, right? She's a trooper. And, you know, and then we have perennials like the grass. This is the Apache Rose. Yes, there's a limb on it, but as soon as we get that limb off of these guys, they'll be fine. They'll bounce back. The perennials, I'm not so worried about. So if you have storm damage, and let's say your perennials, all your top growth on your perennials absolutely destroyed, right? I mean, whether they're squished by a tree, the wind just completely blew them off, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Your perennials are going to be okay because you think about the root system. Shrubs and trees can be a little bit of a different story. So like if, in my case, like my cherry tree, she's gone. There is no recovery of that tree whatsoever. The elm possibly could be okay. So praise the Lord. The chicken coop is fine. No trees fell on the chicken coop. I mean, if this tree had fallen or any tree had fallen, look how close it is. It's probably, I don't know, 15 feet away from it. If it had fallen on the chicken coop, of course, it would have absolutely annihilated that. So good news, bad news over here. So if you've been following us ever since May and when the other storm came through, the massive storm that had 2 tornadoes and all the flooding, you may have remembered or may remember that we had, let me find it, this pine tree got snapped off at the top, and from the top all the way down was the top of the tree, and it was hung up and we couldn't get it down. Well, praise the Lord, y'all. In the wind of yesterday around lunchtime, look, it fell down, and the Lord is so kind and good. It completely missed all the plants. It may have hit the fatsia just a little bit, but she's okay. She's still standing, so that's all right. And so it missed all the plants. I mean, I will take that blessing every day. Thank you so much, because that was definitely a widowmaker. It was hung up. Then this tree that was hung up as well, it has more like collapsed. So I think it'll be easier. It's still connected up top. This is still from May. And so hopefully it'll be easier to get down at this point now. And then, y'all, I'm telling you, I thought this was gonna be my shade woodland garden, but it's not, because look, then this pine tree uprooted yesterday in the storm. Now it too is hung up there. So at some point it's going to fall. Hopefully maybe with the excavator we can push it down, or definitely when we take out the one that is already damaged. I think that's the one that's really kind of hung up in. But yeah, this has completely uprooted. If you remember, I did have this pot. This pot was sitting at the base right there. So yesterday, before, it wasn't even this bad. It got worse as the wind came through yesterday afternoon. So I was able to pull it off, and I'll try to save my hook. But I mean, y'all, there's just, you know, things are squished everywhere, and I'm gonna actually, I see this now, I wanna make sure that my chair's okay, because you can see that it's on the root ball here. So we're just gonna move her out of the way. So yeah, so this pine is gone. So yeah, I've got a lot more sun that's going to be coming in here, because this whole entire canopy is now gone. And so this will not probably be a woodland garden unless I go way down deep. This will be a morning sun and then afternoon shade kind of bed. So that is the deal on that. Now, again, if you have been following us, especially here in the last couple of weeks, you know that we've been putting in a new garden right below this chicken coop, the Terrace garden. I am happy to report that it held beautifully. Somebody asked, they were like, Jenny, I hope you don't have red rivers. No red rivers. this was great. To give you an idea of how much rain we've got, my rain gauge stops at like 7.5 inches. It was overflowing. So I really don't know how much rain we got. I know it was more than 7.5 inches. So that's that. But knowing that, and the torrential, like it just came down, and then of course the wind, but look at this. Everything held so nicely. Now y'all, I literally have not done anything, right? So I'm not like, I haven't fixed stuff and then I'm showing it to you, but see the steps, nice and clean. There's no rivers right here. This back wall is held beautifully. Remember, because somebody did ask, you know, do you not gonna have like mud seeping through? Basically, remember, from below the grade all the way up to about right here is nothing but washed stone. So as water comes, and then there is a French drain in there, the drain pipe, that water comes and it stopped, and you can see, I mean, it did not wash at all here. And so it filters through. If it does come through, then it would be, you can see where it is wet. It would be clean at that point, but also it hits that drain and out it goes. So everything here held really, really well. The only issue that we have is over here. Now, this is not anything of grading or anything that we can really honestly change unless we change way back up here in the woods. But when we get massive torrential rain, which happens, you know, as you know, several times a year, there's gullies, y'all, all through here, just because the land is sloped this way and working towards the creek. So water came through. It's just, and because it's from all the neighbors, it's from everybody that way, comes down, makes its way, and we did have 3 kind of washout areas right here. So it goes through the grass. You can see that the grass is fine, right? But it makes its way through the grass. So we have a little washout here. Then we have a pretty good one right there, went all through the red. And then right where Brenna is standing, another quite massive one right through here. Again, not a ton that we can do, but I am hoping that with landscaping, when we put the plants in here, we put the shrubs in here, that will help. And again, this only happens once in a blue moon. If it even happens once a year, at the absolute most, it may happen twice a year. This year, it would have happened twice a year. But other than that, everything, like I said, held beautifully. We didn't have any orange rivers, no red rivers, and it all looks good. So that is, quote, the damage here at the house. All of, oh, Brenna is not really aware of spatial awareness. She was trying to take that big stick, and that didn't work very well. So we do have, I guess with all the construction, our drain has gotten clogged up. We know that the drain has some gravel in it. So once this is going down, but it's very slow. So once it goes down, we got to clean out that drain. There's a big drain box, clean that out of all that gravel so that this can flow, and it'll be fine. Other than that, the gardens are fine here at the house. Now, I told Jerry, it's like there's a great reason now I don't feel the least bit guilty about pulling things out, because the wind, of course, was quite heavy. So you can see like the Aurelia Sun King, I mean, she's naked really. So we're gonna go ahead and start cutting back perennials and cutting back, pulling out the annuals. Now, one thing that we did see, and thank goodness Megan saw this, it was lunchtime yesterday, still when the wind was going, because we had all the rain came through. The rain was essentially gone by like 10, but then all the big, huge wind gusts were still here. So we had sustained like wind gust up to like 35 miles an hour. And with the ground being saturated, things just moved. One thing I almost lost, but thank goodness Megan saw it, is the Princess Anne standard. So here in the cottage garden, we have the Princess Anne standard, right? And she was like, Mama, she is moving. Like she was in the wind, just rocking back and forth. The reason is because she had such a large canopy on her. I mean, I cut on some sections like 2 feet off. So I quickly came out here with my rose gloves and my Felco's, and I cut her back really severe. Compacted the soil around her because it was really, really loose. But it was just because there was so much canopy up here that I told the kids, I was like, it's like a parachute. It's catching and it's just rocking in the wind. So once I cut it back, then it was fine. So it is a rose. I probably lost a lot of blooms for this fall. it's okay. I'm thinking long term, I'd rather lose a couple of blooms than the whole thing be uprooted, right? Or snap at the bottom. So that got cut back, but that's just a little tip. Same thing if you had that like with your hydrangeas. If your hydrangeas just got pummeled, your panicle hydrangeas, just go ahead and cut them. It's okay. We're going into fall, into winter. They'll be fine. They need to be cut anyway. You're just doing a little early pruning. You're just getting ahead of the job. All right, now what we're gonna do is head over to the nursery because there was, got trees down over there too. So let's head over there. All right, my friends, so we are on the, not the nursery side of the creek, we're on my parents' side of the creek over here, but I wanted to show it, you can see it better over here. We will go look at it on the other direction too. But here we go. While the girls and I yesterday morning around that 9:30ish or whatever, the rain had stopped. It was still windy and we were being very, very aware. We were walking in the middle of fields. We saw this gorgeous, massive poplar that we love and adore uprooted / slid into the creek. So this is the root ball. The trunk goes here and then just continues all the way up there in the trees. This is a massive tulip poplar. We have tons of tulip poplars here on our property and in the creek, and you can see, I mean, that is from like the base down here to the creek all the way up. That's probably 8 to 10 feet. So quite a large uprooting. And really what had happened is because I don't know if you can see, but the roots go all the way here. This is in the turn of the creek, and over the years, I mean, this tree's probably been here, I don't know, 100 years, something like that, maybe more, I don't know. But over all those years, because it's in the bend of this creek, the water and all the different, raging waters had washed out. And then it was just too much between the wind and the rain, because the wind was coming this way. It just came down and literally just uprooted and slid down all the way up there. So while this does not, quote, affect the gardens, it still does. So let me show you on the other side of the creek. All right, so here we are, just across the creek, right? So there's the creek. And you can see, this is where the gorgeous white cleome are. So cleome right here, this is just all wind damage from that aspect of it, but this is where the root system starts and then goes that way through there. Believe it or not, which yay for this, but the Aphrodite calicanthus right here was not affected at all. Now, when we come in here to clean this up, it may be affected, but as of right now, it's okay. I do think there is a fairy trail bride connected in that. But like this from down there up there is at least 10 feet. I mean, it's huge, massive. So it literally just slid into the creek. I'm trying to see, so there you go. So we'll have to clean this up. We cannot leave it laying in the creek. Obviously, that's a huge hazard for the creek. It'll just continue to wear and tear. So we'll have to get this up. But we can work with my dad on that, and between all the machinery, that we'll be okay on that end for sure. Now, all right, we did here at the nursery again we had some big limbs come down, but thank goodness they missed the signature garden. The signature garden as a whole is okay. We only had this tree within the signature garden go down, had a huge maple limb come down here as well. Thankfully, it just fell right here, didn't really go into the gardens here. I'm trying to see on this side of the flower bed. I don't think it took anything out here. We have azaleas and gardenias, which are nice and kind of low. So that certainly helps right here. So this is just a huge limb. So we'll get that taken care of. Now, we did have a fun tree, and you'll see what I mean by fun, over here at the unique stone area. So we'll go over there and look at that. We are incredibly grateful that we did not sustain any structural damage. There is no structural damage whatsoever, so we are incredibly grateful for that. The barn, the greenhouse, everything, all the greenhouses, all the structures are good. Now, sweet thing over here is assessing the situation, and I hear Jackson is coming. He's actually FaceTiming Emily, who's trying to find different plugs to connect the well to the generator. So it's always something. Okay, so here we are at the nursery, at the area of unique stone. So this is a situation we got going on right here, my friends. And Jackson's coming with the bobcat for something. So obviously tons of limbs, tons of debris is down here, tons of water. Do you remember in May when we had the first flood and the first big storm that came through? We had the tree that it was like forked at the top and it split and it ended up way over here, like it just shot off and it was way over there and took out kind of that whole area. Well, guess what? The exact same tree, right? And basically the same area, but this time the other side snapped off, so it's now completely decapitated. And y'all look, from here all the way to here, that is the tree that was attached. So that is every bit of what, 20 feet that this tree literally was carried, whoosh, because all the unique stone right here, completely untouched. Like even this Roman urn right here was not touched. And that tree was shoved by the wind and impaled itself right here. And then, of course, not fun, it too is hung up in the other trees. So for some reason, when trees go down around here, they just like to get hung up in other trees. They just can't simply fall to the ground like the one at the chicken coop. No, we have to get hung up in somebody else, which is incredibly dangerous to take down. So what the plan is that we'll remove all this unique stone in here and then use the equipment and try to go ahead and lay it down. So this too is on the to-do list. So if you're coming to the nursery today, because we're gonna try to be open today, or yeah, just don't come over here. Obviously it's not a safe environment right here, but yeah, she's hung up good, but that just absolutely blows my mind that this tree was taken and carried from the top of this tree all the way up there. So this was the problematic tree. So obviously now that the top's out, if you know anything about pine trees, once the top is out, like it's dead. It's not like a hardwood tree where it will re-sprout. So the pine tree is done. She's gone. We'll try to take care of that. We are here today going ahead and we're open because we actually had 2 different sets of customers yesterday show up, which was not very good because that was still literally when the trees were still falling, because the wind was still blowing quite heavily and literally trees were coming down all over the place. And we were like, no, I'm sorry, we're not open. But we still have gorgeous plants. We did on I can't even keep the day straight. Thursday morning, while it was raining, it was pouring down rain, we took all the mums in. So to protect all the mums, all the tumbleweeds, we took them and then put them in the greenhouse. So if you're looking for mums, if you're looking for pansies, if you are looking for some gorgeous rudbeckias, y'all look how fun these are. Are these not the most gorgeous plants you've ever seen? This is the Indian summer, and oh my gosh, love them. So all the plants are protected. They are good. The echinacea, the lamb's ear, all the pansies, the violas, all the mums. So everything has been protected. So you're good to go. Like plant-wise, we're great. One of the kids, or several of the kids, were asking me, I don't know, yesterday, you know, it all starts to run together. They were like, Mama, is the damage better or worse this time? You know, which storm was worse, the one in May or this one? And I was like, well, they were both pretty not good. right? I mean, obviously not good, but on different levels. So we did not move any of the shrubs, and I can hear some of y'all saying, why would you not do that? Well, because y'all, you never know with these storms. You just don't know. And it's a ton of work to move them. And just because of the timing of the year and vacations and blah, 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 we were short staffed. And so they really weren't predicting for it to be bad here as far as like the flooding, which it wasn't. So we left all the shrubs. So as opposed to May, when the shrubs were completely annihilated and literally taken off the property, but we had no tree damage. This time it's a flip-flop. We have no damage to the plants, but we have more damage because of the trees that are down. So there's more work in that aspect that we have to clean up. We do not have power, so that means that the barn does not have power. So we'll keep you updated via social media, hopefully, because this is going out on Monday. Hopefully by Monday we have power. So that will be null and void. But for today, what we're doing is obviously taking like cash payments, and then our system, Jerry was able to connect the POS, the point of sale system, to his phone. So as long as we can get cellular service, then we can take like credit card, electronic payments. Fingers crossed, we'll see how that goes. But I put it out there on social media that we're open, no power, would love cash sales, because we can do that all day long. But anyway, yeah, just to give you a quick little heads up, because we were planning on doing a video on that. We never got a chance because Helene came through. We got a beautiful delivery of some shrubs on Thursday. The brand new, this is the Eclipse hydrangea. It's supposed to be like the first black foliage hydrangea. So it is a macrophylla. So it's called the Eclipse. It is a big leaf hydrangea, black foliage with red blooms. So intense dark purple leaves hold their color even in sunny, warm climates. Dark ruby or cranberry colored blooms. And this is like a 3.5 by 3.5 full sun, and it is rated from zones 5 to 9. Probably if you're in an 8 or a 9, you need to give it a break in the afternoon, like other big leaf hydrangeas, but super cool. So if you're looking for an eclipse, we've got eclipses. And then I'm very excited about the Roman candle. So Roman candle, podocarpus, I can't even talk this morning, podocarpus from our friends at Southern Living. This is a variegated yew, like an upright yew, y'all. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? I love it. It did not come with any tags, so that's kind of disappointing. But if you are looking for a Roman candle, if you're familiar with Jim Putnam loves this plant, so I am excited about this one as well. We've got some little limes that are beautiful, so just traditional good old little limes. We got 3-gallon tea olives that are beautiful, some dragon princes, cryptomeria, really fun, chindo viburnums, more variegated loropetalum, and so this is an experiment, y'all, that I'm doing. You can join me if you would like. 9 bark from Proven Winners. Now, I got tiny wine and ginger wine. I only got like 6 of each, so one's for me, and so then that means leaves 5 for everybody else. Because the reason we didn't go crazy on this is I'm not sure how it's going to do in our southern climate, because it is only rated, I believe, to a zone 7. Yeah, it's rated from a zone 3 to 7, even though we're in 8A, because sometimes shrubs can handle it, and so it's fine. But these are 9 barks, and I love 9 barks because they have gorgeous foliage. The barks will actually peel. That's why they're called a 9 bark, because there's like 9 layers to the plant. So when it defoliates in the fall, in the winter, the bark is peeling like a crepe myrtle, right? So you get this gorgeous interest year round. So then we have the ginger wine, which will be bigger. So you can see right by just the leaves already, ginger wine is going to be in that 5 to 6 tall and wide range. And then the tiny wine is, let me look right quick, my friends. Tiny wine is the 3 to 5 tall. You really don't want to prune a 9 bark if you don't have to. You can, every couple of years, you can go out and take a couple of the old limbs out just to kind of get some new growth going. But really fun about this, gorgeous color, beautiful flowers. And so the reason I only got a couple is because we are a zone 8. We'll see how they do here. Sometimes things will do really well. You just have to put them in the right area. And so I'm thinking lots of morning sun, early afternoon sun, but definitely a break in the hot afternoon, I think. one big experiment. So that's the deal with that. But yeah, so all the plants, all the shrubs are fine. It's just the trees that are down. We did have some more flooding. I'm going to take you up to production right quick and give you an eye on that. An area that we're going to have to address sometime sooner than later is this on the road up to production. So just to kind of give you a bit of perspective, the shrub lot, production, all annex for e-commerce, all of that's up here. Mimi's Monarch Way Station is right here. And so what we have on the road is we have a culvert here that goes underneath the gravel road, but it's obviously is not it is not enough for when the rains come. So you can see with my shadow. So here's the pipe, and obviously it goes just on the other side of the road. It's not big enough, or there's not enough. So either we need to add a bigger one, or we need to add multiples of these right through here, because what happens is, yet again, all the water from everybody, like neighbors upon neighbors upon neighbors, all the way up here, there's a natural gully that goes for the length of Pine Hollow, really, through the woods. And so this becomes like a river right through here. I think Jerry has some pictures. That's why Mimi has to keep her way station, Monarch Way Station, up here, because this whole area will be completely flooded when we have those big, heavy, torrential rains. This is not a problem on a normal rain. So this is not something that we deal with on a regular basis. Again, only when we have these massive, massive floods. So, and the massive rains rather. So what happens is it all piles up. It can't get through the culvert enough. So then of course, then it overflows and then goes out. So from May, we still have a lot of gravel. The weed grass has grown over it, but there's a ton of gravel in here. And then from yesterday, there's still fresh gravel down there. And then the main problem, Jerry has gone ahead and come through and, sorry for the shadow, y'all, has already fixed the road. So the road doesn't have the divots in it and the little gullies, but all of this gravel here that you can see, all of this gravel right here and goes all the way down there. This is from the Helene damage. And so you can see, I mean, it just comes through, y'all. And if you haven't been around raging, rushing water, that's one of the scariest things. I mean, it'd be the same thing with like wind and fire, right? There is nothing to stop. You cannot, once it starts going, you're not stopping it. You literally get out of the way and let it do its thing. And that's what's happened. I know, like in the North Carolina mountains, the massive, because they had gotten tons of rain just from a front, not even the hurricane ahead of time, and they were already flooding. And then the hurricane hit the mountains, and it's just catastrophic. Like entire communities have been wiped out because of these flash floods, the raging waters. You try your best to tell it where to go and allow it to have room to go, but if it's running, you get out of the way and you can fix the property and you can fix the buildings and you can rebuild, but we can't rebuild people. So that's the thing. And so you just get out of the way and let water do its thing. Up at production, we had some close calls with some trees. So let me show you that. Here at production, again, praise the Lord, no structural damage whatsoever. So you can see, and we were not worried about like the big production house. That's why we went with essentially the extra heavy duty greenhouse here, is because it can withstand higher wind gusts. And so it did fine. We still don't have any power, but Jerry is able to manually open the sides. So he's opened the front and the back quite significantly, and then the sides are opened a little bit. It's hard to see right here because of the retaining wall. So that way we get good airflow, because while we love seeing this beautiful Carolina blue sky, that also is the sun, and greenhouses mean that it gets nice and toasty in there. And when you don't have any water and you got plants in there, a toasty hot greenhouse with plants and no water for a couple of days can spell disaster. So That's why Jerry's working to get the well connected to the generator so that we can get water. Again, over here, I mean, this, y'all, this could have gone really, really, really bad. And I know the sun is not our friend. It is. Just work with me, people. So this is, of course, we have dry storage here, which we have a lot of the hard goods for the online store is in here. And then the building that we call our annex building, this is where, like, our office. So this is all where the shipping takes place, the boxing, a lot of hard goods are in there. So that's what's there. And then if you can see, tons of oak trees right there. And y'all, not one thing landed on that building. If one tree had come down and landed on the building, it would be completely destroyed. And again, grace of God, it did not. So we are grateful for that. Now here, on the edge of our property, so our neighbors, basically, again, the property line is very close to right here. You can see there's tons of just like limbs. There's a small tree that's down. These are all hardwoods. Most of these are oaks. There might be one or two pines in here, but the vast majority are hardwoods. And then there you go. Look at that. We got an oak tree. So the one tree that did fall, again, it is actually our neighbor's tree. And so it fell, well, you know what, y'all, there's actually two. So there's a pine tree down. The pine tree fell first, it looks like, or either the oak tree fell and then made the pine tree fall. I don't know. Either way, the oak tree fell, and you can see that it landed right between essentially the equipment, and this is like our bulk soil for production, and the camper. So it completely missed the camper, did not touch it whatsoever. But yeah, so we've got this oak tree down. It did land on the grapple for the bobcat, but I believe the fellas said it's just pinned under there. It's not damaged. So that's the good thing about, you know, heavy duty equipment, is that it's not damaged, it's just pinned. So we'll have to get the tree out before we can get the grapple out. Yeah, so there's all that. So yeah, so that's kind of an update here at Creekside. Again, right now, I guess the biggest thing is hopefully getting power. If we can get power, then that makes everything a little bit better. Plus, we actually, I mean, obviously we need it for the plants, right? And so we currently have a sale going on, because this is airing on Monday. So if you do the online store, there's 30% off all the shrubs and all the perennials. So we'd love to have some support, especially since sales have been completely messed up this week at the garden center. So if you're looking for some shrubs and perennials, we have them 30% off, and we will get them to you as soon as we get power. Again, this is Saturday morning, so hopefully we will have power by this afternoon. Sunday, we'll keep you updated, but just give us just a little bit of grace, if you don't mind. If you have placed an order like last week, and or the first of this week, because if we don't have power, we can't ship you your stuff. And so just give us a little bit of grace in that aspect of it. If you want all the details for that shrub and perennial sale, you can sign up for our emails. And so, because really that's the main way that we talk about our online specials, is through those emails. I'll have a link in the video description. Click on that link and you can sign up for the emails, and you'll get all that information. You do have a promo code that you have to use. So make sure you plug that promo code in. It will be on the website and in the email. Just know we will keep you updated as far as power goes. Probably we'll send out a mass email to all of our e-commerce customers and let them know whether we do have power, we don't have power, just to kind of give you an update on that. Just know, trust me, we want to get you your product to you as soon as we possibly can. And then of course, if you're in the Southeast and you had ordered or are going to order, I know things might be a little messed up because of Helene, but yeah, so we are incredibly grateful. Again, this is not a woe is me kind of video. This is simply just informing you, because so many people have asked what has happened here at Creekside, how were we affected? So I'm sharing that with you, but please, please, please keep all those people that have been affected by Helene in your prayers. The last time I saw I think the death count was somewhere around 40. I don't know how accurate that is, but I just know in our little world, I know that the upstate South Carolina was massively impacted. Praise the Lord, Emily, our oldest, is a sophomore at Anderson University, and so that's Anderson, South Carolina, which is right there at like Greenville, Spartanburg, Clemson, that kind of area, hugely affected. So she had come home on Wednesday night because we were supposed to go to a concert in Charlotte on Thursday night. We ended up not going because of the storm, but so she is home and has been home. So all of my little ducklings are under one roof, which makes me very happy. But the university is actually encouraging students to go home because they have no power. And so they're like, you know, if you can get home safely, go home safely. You know, if you have to stay, obviously we'll take care of you. Just know that we have no power. And so she is home, but upstate South Carolina, I know lots of parts of South Carolina. Georgia, I would imagine, has just gotten hammered. I haven't heard much of Georgia. And then, of course, the North Carolina mountains, just the massive amounts of flooding and mudslides and just things that are just gone. So keep those people in your prayers. If you can find an organization to donate, I will try to link those. I know, like, again, Samaritan's Purse and then the Red Cross, those would be two great ones that I can tell you right off the bat would be great to donate to. I'll put those in the link as well. So anyway, thanks for all your thoughts and prayers. We're good. Yes, it has been a humdinger of a year, but you know what? God is good, and we just keep on going, and He provides everything we need, and one foot in front of the other, my friends. Just keep on going. Y'all have an amazing day. Thank you so much for all your love and support. We have got a very, very important video coming out this week, either on Tuesday or Wednesday. Please watch this. This is a massively important, not to Creekside important video for you and every single woman in your life that you know and love. Watch this video. It will be our next video coming out. Watch it, my friends. Please, not for me, but for the women in your life. As always, we love you. Bye.